All right. So, the first thing I'm going to start off with you guys. All right. So, we're going to talk about the WEF. We're going to talk about that. Definitely going to discuss the WEF because people have been asking me about it. We're going to talk about the WHO. We're going to talk about that. All that stuff, the meetings, the videos I've been seeing. We're going to talk about all that stuff, man. So, all right. So first thing I want to tell you guys, right? I've been telling you guys for a while to start messing with crystals. All right. Now, I don't know those of you who don't take it seriously. But let me show you something real quick. So this right here is a electromagnetic radiation detector tester, and you can hear it beeping because this computer is giving off. Hold on, there we go. This computer is giving off hella radiation, right? It's extremely dangerous, right? This radiation will tear you up, and you see it going on and off. So with crystals, right? What I was telling you guys, what I discovered was this tourmaline right here, right? It has an effect to reduce the radiation. All right. So you saw it just killed it completely. Now it's on again. You drop that on there, it's done. Right? Take it back off, put it over here. There we go. Now it's back on. Now this right here is called shungite. All right. This shungite is like the most powerful one out of all of them because you ain't even got to put it directly on there. You just put it near it. So what this shungite does, it absorbs the radiation. So if you keep a piece of shungite in your pocket, even during this whole 5G thing, you keep a couple pieces of shungite on you, it will absorb the radiation for you, as you can see, right? See? Radiation, absorb. Radiation, absorb. All right? So get yourself a piece of tourmaline and shungite. Because when we're walking around in here, we getting bombarded by all these waves. You want to make sure you protect it. All right. So people think crystals is BS. You can get yourself one of these testers. I'll tell you exactly where you can get it from. I think I got this thing off eBay. I used to love eBay. But yeah, this is an electromagnetic radiation tester. All right. I think I spent like $30 for this thing. Great investment. Great investment. And it comes with like this little, what is this? It's like little stickers. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's also got a little magazine, not magazine, but a little booklet in here too that comes with it. But yeah, start walking around with tourmaline in your pocket. Now, fair warning: when you first start to handle tourmaline, it's like handling a piece of like a lead pencil or something like that. But like when you really get like the first layer of like kind of like filmy material off, yeah, it's pretty solid. I keep a piece in my pocket when I go to work. You're around computers. When I'm doing these live streams, I usually put some right by the computer. Now, the tourmaline, somebody just asked me, is shungite better than black tourmaline? They do different things, but this also has a grounding ability, right? So I keep a bracelet on with tourmaline to ground the negative energy. Everything pretty much cycles around energy. So when you keep pieces of crystals like this around you and you keep them on you and stuff, it can absorb a lot of that bad energy that you may get from people. You might have to deal with somebody who's bringing negative energy towards you. You rock some of that, put some of that in your pocket, or you rock a bracelet or something. It'll straighten you out, keep you straight with it. Make sure you clean them too. Don't just wear them all the time, but don't clean them. Different crystals have different ways they need to be cleaned. So please look up, grab that crystal Bible. Like I told you guys, time is up. It's time to start acting. We've been talking about this for over a year now, and we've been getting busy with knowledge. It's time to start applying, because shit is about to really change. If you've been paying attention to what's going on all over the place, stuff's about to change. So the time is now. Like you gotta start whatever knowledge you have, put it into play if you haven't yet. It's all that waiting around. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. That's done. You should have did that a while ago. Now you behind because things about to get put in full swing. And if you're not on board with what's going on, you're gonna be having some problems. Put it that way. All right. So look forward to see if you can grab some tourmaline and shungite. All right. And these will help ground some of that radiation that we get bombarded with, especially them 5G waves and stuff like that. You know, there's ways to move around in this matrix, bro. You just gotta be aware. There's always ways to move around in this matrix. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Hold on, where we at? Always like Black Sabbath more than right. I don't think that's the who we're talking about, but I digress. Yes, sir. What's up, Alex? What's going on with you? Shungite better than black tourmaline. For this purpose, Shungite is stronger. I showed you have to put the tourmaline directly on the tester in order for it to catch the radiation to be caught. This right here, you just put it right near it, and it'll absorb the radiation. Now, I assume the bigger piece you get, the more it'll absorb. So, for this particular purpose, I would personally rather go with the tourmaline. The shungite, but it won't hurt to have both. You know what I mean? For this particular purpose of protecting your body from harmful rays or waves, that is. What's up, Nicole? What's going on with you? All right, let's get to it. So there's a few things, of course, like we always begin with. Let's start with a little bit of law. How about that? How you guys feel about that? Let's start with a little bit of law and jurisdiction because that is going to be a big factor coming up. Because those of you who weren't paying attention or living under a rock, oh yes, it is a fact that the WEF and multiple leaders or presidents of multiple trusts or corporations around the world masquerading as masquerading as countries have held a meeting. So jurisdiction is going to be a huge issue. So let's get to it real quick.
All right, y'all, it's that time to learn some law. Y'all already see what code I got up there, 8 USC section 1481. All right, I'm going to show y'all the power of this one in the courtroom, okay? Laws of nationality by native, born, or naturalized citizens. Voluntary actions, burden of proof, presumptions. Okay, so if you want to look that up, just look it up for yourself. Do your research. All right, now, so let's go through this. A person who is a national of the United States, whether by birth or naturalization, shall lose his or her, they don't say her, but, meaning her as well, his and her nationality by voluntarily performing any of the following acts with the intentions of relinquishing.
All right, so he ain't go through the whole thing, but that is 8 U.S. Code 1481. 8 U.S. Code 1481. Write that down. 8 U.S. Code 1481. And read the stipulations. All right. Read them stipulations. There's some great details in there, but we can't give you everything. You got to do some reading yourself. But if we're talking about knowledge and stuff, you should be doing reading anyway. It's just a matter of what to read. You know what I'm talking about? So boom, there we have it. All right, let's move on, shall we? All right, so this one, I'm gonna skip that for now. We'll come back to that. We'll get to that later too. All right, let's talk about Pox. And I ain't talking about Tupac and X-Pac or Six-Pac. Let's talk about some Pox, shall we? Magilla Gorilla. Let's talk about some Pox, shall we? All right, hold on. Let's pull this up real fast. Hold on. Let me see where it is. There it is, right there. There we go. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys.
Massachusetts, public health officials are confirming the state's first case of monkeypox. It's also the first case in the U.S. this year.
Now, the infected person is a man who recently traveled to Canada. Monkeypox is a rare, potentially serious virus. It begins with flu-like symptoms, swelling of the lymph nodes, and a progressive rash on the face and the body. Health officials, though, right now say there's no risk to the public.
All right, so they're already planting the seeds. All right, so how many of y'all thought it was over? How many of y'all thought we were scot-free? How many of y'all thought the fight was over? All right. You got an intermission. The fight for your rights is not over. Nah, bro. You already see what they doing. You already remember how the other thing got started. You already know the game. You know how it's played. All right. So knowing the Supreme Court rulings, knowing HIPAA laws, all the stuff you learned in 2020 is about to come in handy again because these mofos are not done. All right, they're not done. And the main thing is, the funny part about it is there's a 9-page side effect for the poke. 9 pages. There's a 9-page series of side effects for the poke, one of which is this. But we're not talking about that, though. We're not talking about how the poke is causing all these side effects, and these people are basically running around suffering the actions of the consequences of their actions and such. We're not talking about that. Nah, we just talking about pox, pokes. You know what I mean? Pox. We talking about money pox. That's what we talking about. So, you know, that's they said it's potentially not serious, but that's how they started off with the other thing. Y'all remember what happened? It started off like it wasn't that serious, and then all of a sudden they started changing definitions, rearranging death certificates to say certain things to benefit their agenda. And boom, there you have it. So we already know what time they on, and we know what time we on. All right. So again, this is not a time to be afraid, bro. Y'all all knew this was coming. You know, we elected to be here on this in this time zone, or this what is it, dimension is what I should say. We elected to be here in order to help out with this particular situation. So those of us who are quote unquote light workers, or whatever you call yourself, this is why we're here. All right, because it would be very one side if it wasn't for us. You know what I mean? Spreading that information and knowing knowledge, and, you know, just making sure and assuring the public not to panic and stuff like this, because, you know, it's always going to be something. It's always one thing after another, man. One thing after another. All right. And this is the reason right here. That's not it. Oh, man, that's not it. I think I got to find that video. Hold on. I got to find that video because I want y'all to see this. Hold on a sec. Thought I put it up here. I want y'all to see this. Hold on. See if I can pull it up real quick. It's not letting me share it. It's crazy because I had it pulled it up earlier, but it wasn't trying to let me. It's not trying to let me pull it up again. All right, so look, for those of you who don't know, all right, the WEF, pretty much the world something, is basically a conglomerate of a bunch of different countries getting together, and they're meeting at a location. And the location basically is what the hell is that place at? I can't remember even where the location is. Now, I should know all this, but I do not know exactly what the location is. But they're basically meeting up, and they're all talking about surrendering the sovereignty for that corporation in order, like, for one government. And this is what we've been saying for years now. All right, this is not even hidden anymore. It's all out there. All that stuff is out there in the open now, but they're getting together and they're surrendering sovereignty to try to push forward this agenda. So you're going to start seeing a lot more of this POC stuff happening, you know what I mean, with the whole outbreaks, we'll put it that way. You'll start seeing a lot more of that in the news. You'll start seeing a whole lot of the side effects of stuff people shouldn't have put in their body with a medical apparatus by people they don't know for an agenda that we all know what it is. We'll start seeing a lot of them side effects, and they're going to blame that on the war. They're going to blame that on what else? What's another one? You know, just people getting sick, food, you know what I mean? It's going to be a whole lot of nonsense, man. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We already know what time it is, all right? We know to stay focused. You know, it's summertime, start growing your own food, yo, because it's about to get real. If you don't have any gold and silver, I strongly suggest you start grabbing some here and there. You know, start doing all that stuff, man, because it is about to get real. You know, we talking about sovereignty and stuff like that. We already know about the United Nations. We know about that. We know that the United States is a corporation, and we also know that the world, what is it? The United Nations is also the parent corporation, and the connected companies, which are supposed to be a part of the United Nations, they're sub companies. So it's basically like kind of like a trust, and then like little companies underneath the trust, pretty much. So these are all corporations. That's all it is. And when they surrender in sovereignty, they're surrendering their corporate sovereignty. Our sovereignty is from God. Our sovereignty is from the land, bro. You know, they can't surrender our sovereignty because they cannot interfere on what God created. Don't work like that. So when people start panicking, oh, the one world government, I'm so worried about this, that, and the third. At the end of the day, bro, as long as you have your knowledge together, you have a way to protect everything you have, and you have a solid knowledge of law and a group that you can work with. That's why I told you guys, get with people in your area and start talking. Because if y'all don't have these conversations with people, you're gonna have a whole hell of a lot of a harder time trying to stand up on your own if you don't got at least 5 people with you. You know what I mean? Food, trading food and stuff like that. Food runs out, food becomes scarce, which we know a lot of the food that actually started disappearing was goddamn bad for you anyway. A lot of that food that supposedly had been burnt down in factories was not good for you and had all kinds of chemicals and stuff in it that's not good for your body. So at the end of the day, you getting your own food or find the farmer's market, get in touch with some of the people that work at the farmer's market. Start talking to people, man. Because I guarantee you a lot of those people that work at that farmer's market have the same beliefs we do. They probably just don't know where to turn to talk to people about it. When we start connecting our dots like that and start becoming a community again, then we'll start moving forward as a people. But right now, we cannot depend on that situation anymore. And y'all know what I'm talking about. All right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. So this is not a time to be afraid. It's not a time to be worried. This is not a time to be, running for cover. Y'all done known about this stuff well over 3 years, and they didn't give you a hell of a warning in 2020. The information's been out there for probably, I'd say, at least 50 years. Those of us that were asleep years and years and years ago, which I was one of them. I was kind of awakened, but not fully awakened to everything that was going on. But I mean, you stumbled across this channel for a reason. So it is very much time to start putting things in play. You know what I mean? So the people, man, we are the people, man. We are the people. We are God's creations. Our sovereignty was given to us by our creator. So ain't nobody giving our sovereignty up. All right. That's it. So that's what it is. Let me get back in here. Nah, it was an inside joke. It's an inside joke because you missed it. But no, we talking about the WHO. The World Healing Organization, put it that way. Because I know that I probably messed the algorithm up. But yeah, it's not called healing. We're talking about those guys. Cannon Hotep, what's up, man? My man, Ayo, if y'all are on YouTube right now, drag this video down, go to the search, and put in Cannon Hotep. Pull his channel up on YouTube, smack that subscribe button with all your might. Smack that subscribe button like it's shaped like Fauci's face. Bash that joint with your finger like it's Fauci's face. You know what I mean? Go subscribe to my man's right there. He dropped some hot fire too. We talking about the same situations. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Facts. Absolutely. Real, my man. Good to have you here. The truth is here says the people of the 50 several states of the Union, especially the original 13 colonies, are not required to accept U.S. citizenship, period. And that is exactly what I told you guys. Whatever knowledge y'all have, but y'all been coming to this channel for a while now. We might not always talk about law, but we talk about law and other stuff. Apply the knowledge. It is time for that, yo. It's time for that. All that U.S. citizenship, that shit dead, man. That shit's dead. 14th Amendment, that shit is done. Persons, done. All that stuff is done. Albert Taylor says, big farmer, want everyone to get shot. Saw a vid about it starting Lord Fire. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we know. We already know. But I'm not sure how much pushback they actually expected to get when these, you know what I mean? These pokes were being distributed. I'm not sure they expected this much pushback because, you start looking at the music and how the music's changed so much from the 90s. You guys ever listen to a song from the 90s and just catch flat out nostalgia? Like, yo, god damn, shit was so much different back then. Different frequencies, yo. They lowered the frequencies. They lowered the frequencies of everything. TV, music, even radio waves. It's all a lowered frequency to lower people's consciousness down so they can sneak all this shit in. But I don't think they anticipated how many people were actually going to not go along with the bullshit. Because at the end of the day, they know what they're doing is bullshit. They're 100%. Come on, man. These people might be assholes, but they're not stupid. So yeah, 100%. But yeah, that's that whole thing. Exactly. You nailed it right on the head, Albert. Yes, sir. But yeah, man, it's that time for being afraid is done, man. Like that's done. That's out of here. People are waking up. People are starting to figure out what's going on. People hear about the C, the 9-1C backwards. They start hearing about that. They just tune it out. They just tune out. Think about this. When I had went to Texas last year and I had turned on the radio, yo, it was a bombardment. Every commercial, like the commercial would start off normal and then it would start talking about shots. It would start talking about the 1-9 joint. It would start talking about, uh uh symptoms and stuff like that. That's what it was 24. You can't turn on no radio station without hearing about that. I'm not sure now because I don't even rock with the radio anymore. But when I was in Texas, I'm riding in different Ubers and stuff, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then when you ride down, and this is Texas, by the way, they wasn't going for that. When you ride down the strip in Houston, and you'll see like banners and stuff, get the poke, you know what I mean? All this different crap, it's real, get this, that. And it's a constant bombardment. And it just makes you wonder why it doesn't have to be a situation where it's like forced upon you, and the reason is because it's a desperation thing, they got to get everybody on board, so not everybody, but like a majority of people on board. So like I said, man, we already know what fight this is. All right, let me go ahead and show y'all this video. Now I couldn't show you the other one I wanted to show you. It wouldn't let me. So let me show you this one here. Hold on a sec. All right. Oh, yep, here it is.
Child of God, let me give you your international history blessing on today. Now, I be telling y'all that what goes on internationally will circle around. But let me tell you what's going on. All you my woke people, tell me how woke you are. And I ain't heard none of y'all say nothing about the meeting that is happening in Geneva, Switzerland, May the 22nd, 22 through May the 28th, 22. Oh, don't nobody know about that meeting? Let me go ahead and give you the backlog on it. At this meeting, 193 countries that are considered sovereign states under the United Nations are represented at this meeting, and they will be there, you all. Biden has brought along 40 countries with him that have decided that they will give our sovereignty, our human sovereignty, to the World Health Organization, whose legislative body is the World Health Assembly. Oh, y'all think I'm talking in riddles? Okay, let me break it down to you. If they approve this, May the 22nd through May the 28th, if Biden is successful with giving the World Health Organization our sovereignty, that means we no longer have control over our health. What does that mean, E? I'm not talking about no Medicaid, Medicare, how much that shit costs. What I'm talking about is saying, hey, there's a COVID-19 virus out here. Everybody go get a vaccine, and you have to get that vaccine. What I'm talking about is what happened in Shanghai. The World Health Organization will be able to declare in over 193 countries at one time, which means they can say 76 of these countries need to be shut down and put on lockdown right now. Do you know there is no overturn? There is no legislative body that you go through after this. Once they make this decision, you all, our sovereign rights as humans are taken. Do you know that nothing like this has ever been done throughout history? That it is considered unprecedented, unorthodox, and a whole bunch of other shit. Y'all want to talk about the wrong. You are being distracted. Where are your legislators? They know about this meeting, you all. They know about this meeting. Go look it up. And you may not be able to find it on Google. Look it up in other avenues. Call your legislators and you ask them about the meeting that is happening in Geneva, Switzerland, May the 22nd through May the 28th, in which Biden has already submitted amendments to provide our sovereign rights. We will no longer govern our own health, you all. We will no longer govern our own fucking world. You think you're going to be able to elect the leader? Elect them. It won't matter. Because guess what? They will have no power. The World Health Organization will be able to deem to shut this bitch down whenever they want to. Where y'all at? Where the hell is y'all at? They about to kill our ass. Where is y'all at?
All right. So she said it plain and simple. I mean, hey, hey, like I said, I don't know about her, but I don't get my sovereignty from no goddamn government. You know what I mean? My sovereignty is given to me by the creator. You feel me? So at the end of the day, all that other stuff, you know what I mean? I get what she's saying, which is 100% precise in terms of everything that's going on. But, we already know what it is with that, you know, and moving around accordingly is important. You know what I'm talking about? What up, Jordan? What's up, man? Jordan says you can't take something that was never given to you. All that they're talking about is nationality that they created. If you want to be part of their commercial society, you will be limited. Yeah. That's facts. That's facts. Again, this is why I tell mofos that knowledge we discuss, you need to be that secure party that needs to be put into play. All right. That needs to be put into play. And, you know, other things that we can discuss privately need to be put into play. Absolutely. Speaking of which, man, I'm going to say something else to y'all, man. I said something about this a couple weeks back. Listen, y'all really need to start comprehending public versus private. If y'all get some information, right, that's clearly private information, it cannot be brung into the private, into the public. You want to leave that in the private. All right. So certain things and certain remedies, you know what I mean, doesn't need to be put out there in the public because people do stupid things when you put things out there in the public. We'll put it that way. You know, people abuse certain things and people just, you know, and while it might not be illegal or unlawful, it'll still get you on a lot of bad attention you don't want. So that's what I'm gonna say about public versus private. And I've seen people getting remedies from the private and putting them out there in the public. I would highly advise against that because you know, reasons. And I'm gonna leave it right there. Let me see here. Bill says timing's running out for what? What you mean for what, bro? You ain't here. We just talked about the WEF. We talked about that. We talked about, you know what I mean? Pox. Things are starting to really pick up speed, pick up pace, man. So yeah, getting your stuff together and applying knowledge accordingly is very important right now. How we reach you privately, bro. My link to my email is and has always been right there at the bottom. Where that you see that banner down there is there and it's right in the description. So if you ever want to hit me up, hit my email in the description and we can set up a consultation. I got you. Just hit me up and reach out, man. We're gonna make sure we get everybody on the right page because if you're watching this channel, you haven't taken no moves yet, you are slacking big time. You should have been made moves, bro. Big time. You know what I mean? So we're gonna get y'all right. But yeah, slide over into the private. Stay out the damn public in terms of stuff like, you know, private stuff. We'll put it that way. So yeah, that is you know, that whole thing happening right now. The meeting is I believe it's to the 28th. So they're still discussing everything. It's 4 more days. But I mean, like I said, y'all need to start getting together and planning. Start talking to other people who are like-minded, have conversations in private. Meaning don't be talking to people in the public domains like, you know, Facebook or Instagram and stuff like that. Certain conversations should be had face to face, or if you have like an encrypted way to talk, that's fine too. But you know, when you have these conversations with people, you need to make sure you get on the same page, man. Because like, if something happens, like a power outage or a grid outage or something, man, it's gonna get real out here, bro. And we got to make sure people are prepared. I was watching something on the news today, yo. This is the first time I've actually seen it with my own eyes. All right. I'm watching something on the news and they were saying that Melissa, this is Baltimore County area, they said Melissa Hyatt was they wanted to take Melissa Hyatt, the Fraternal Order of Police in Baltimore County. They wanted to remove Melissa Hyatt from being a police chief because they said the crime was up. I thought it was weird because under Melissa Hyatt, from what I've seen, these police are the most well-trained, easy to deal with police that I've dealt with in the history of dealing with Baltimore police. The ones now seem a little bit more knowledgeable and a little bit more to the book, if that makes sense. Like they don't just go rogue as much, from what I've seen anyway. Now I know there's other stories out there, but believe me, I was in the early 2000s and stuff like that, bro. It was crazy because those mofos did whatever the hell they wanted. Didn't matter if they was county or city. So they were saying that they wanted to remove her from the chief of police. I thought that was crazy because from what I seen, the crime was down, and the statistics and everything I looked at, crime was actually down while she was in office. So I thought that was weird. I'm like, yo, Melissa Hyatt, she's actually a pretty good police officer, chief. What the fuck is up? What they did with that? So I'm basically watching that joint scratching my beard like this. This is odd, you know. Then I look at this guy. Yo, this dude is the who is it? I don't know who this guy was, but it's something to do with the Fraternal Order of Police. But then I looked at this guy's face, right? And his something was wrong with his eyes. His eyes were like, you know how a cat's eyes look? You know what I mean? How it's like an oval, a horizontal oval, excuse me, a vertical oval. That's how his eyes look. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with his eyes? I'm like, yo, hold on, man. And I look closer. I asked the lady next to me, do you see that? She was like, what the hell? What is going on with his eyes? Then, like, these motherfuckers had the nerve. I was like, yo, that's crazy. Something must be going on with the resolution. Nah, yo, they letting you know what time they on, all right? Because they zoomed in on his face. They literally put the camera right here, up close, and you can see his eyes was like a vertical oval. I'm like, yo, that's not human eyes. I done seen a lot of human eyes, but no, that is not human eyes, bro. So, you know, I looked at Melissa Hyatt. I didn't see that. So, you know, taking her out and putting somebody he recommends to be in, you draw your own conclusions on that one. But something was not right with his eyes, man. You look at a lot of these newscasters, some of them have one eye like that, and the other one will be normal. And some of them they'll have two eyes like that. You'll even see sometimes they'll blink, and it'll be like this. You know what I mean? So yeah, I noticed that, but it was crazy. I never seen it. I always heard about it, but I never actually physically saw it. You know, but that's the first time I've seen it. It just makes me wonder: is it the veil is lifting? Is that what it is? You guys think maybe the veil is lifting or something like that? Because they were saying the dimensional veils is thinning, and you're starting to see things to what they are, visually and metaphysically, you know, spiritually, everything. My man says, stock up on rice, beans, and canned goods, and toilet paper for all the beans you'll be eating. Right, 100%. Or just do like the old school negritos in the Philippines. There, you'll go out there and get some leaves. Just make sure you don't get poison ivy, because if you wipe your ass with poison ivy, you're going to have a bad day. I promise you. Don't do it. Just finished going live about the Texas school event that happened. Yeah, man, yeah, we'll get to that. Because I want your opinion on that, bro. Honestly, because I don't details right now. You know, details start coming out days after, so I really don't like talking about that stuff the same day it happened. But I will say this: the way Texas is set up, you know what I mean, and their view on arms and stuff like that. This is why the dude was quote unquote taken out of commission. Should we say he was taken out because the 2A, but there's the details need to come out more for that, because there's always some details that are sketchy with stuff like that. You know what I mean? Camera's not working. You know, it's always something. Jordan Thomas says the whole system is based on a belief. You need to act your part, not as a man, but a thing of Congress creation. You didn't create a citizen; they did. You have no rights within their creation. Yep, you just have privileges. Exactly. He says FOP president. The guy I saw wasn't the president though, because I looked his name up. I think I had his name on here somewhere. I gotta find it. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is right here. Let me show you guys the. I'm gonna show you the clip, but you can't see it on this because the resolution is so off. But I'm gonna show you the. This isn't the video I saw either. This came out yesterday, but the one I saw was less than like 5 hours ago. Hold on, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. But you're not going to be able to see his eyes because they don't zoom in, and this resolution on this particular video is low for some weird reason. Let me show you what I mean here. All right, take a look at this.
This is WJZ Breaking News.
The Baltimore County Police Union, representing 1,760 FOP members, just issued a vote of no confidence for Police Chief Melissa Hyatt. Welcome to those of you who are watching on CBS News Baltimore and on WJZ TV. I'm Vic Carter.
And I'm Rick Bitter. Now, this all happened in just the last couple of hours. This is their general business meeting in Timonium, and the union sent out a letter to County Executive Johnny Olszewski, and they sent a list of reasons why they reached this decision, including her vote to change how internal complaints are handled, allowing people accused of sexual harassment to continue their work on their assignments without disruption.
The union also pointed to a rise in crime in the county, including at the Towson Town Center. We spoke with the union president about the decision after the meeting tonight. He said the vote was unanimous.
This is our police department. We care about it. We don't.
All right, this is the guy right here. All right, you can't see his eyes. They're like real dark here. But this dude has blue eyes, like a grayish blue. And I saw on my TV, clear as day, he had blue eyes, right? And then when I looked real close, this dude had like a horizontal oval shape, real thin oval for pupils.
Don't want division like this in, we care about the citizens. We care
Let me move this closed caption because it's blocking some other things I want you to take a look at. Hold on.
about protecting the citizens. To have to do something like this is not in our.
Look at his teeth. Look at his teeth. I'm gonna try to. I wish I can blow this up for you guys to look. You probably can see it a little bit, but look at this guy's teeth. Nah, something ain't right here.
Not in our nature, but the members clearly were not feeling heard.
And tonight we did reach out to Police Chief Melissa Hyatt, and we are still awaiting a response.
County Executive Johnny Olszewski did release a statement that reads in part.
All right, now like I said, Melissa Hyatt, from what I've seen, I done seen a few. I done seen a few organizations and setups or whatever for different chiefs and stuff. I had to say hers has been the most professional group of police officers I've seen. You know what I mean? Anytime there's an incident, they get all the facts. You know, you might have one dickhead here and there, but that's just part of the nature. But for the most part, even when it comes to right to travel, I sent her an affidavit with the right to travel, and boom, I hadn't been bothered since. So she obviously got the joint, and then, you know, notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principals, notice the agent, made sure the appropriate channel saw it so that I wasn't harassed anymore. I actually exercised my rights. So, you know, that was I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if it's because, you know, maybe the way that they're operating is different, or, you know, maybe she just was like, yeah, you know, leave that dude alone. He exercising his rights. I don't know, but I will say this much. As far as the police order goes, from what I've seen, this has been the most professional one. 100%. So I think she's doing a great job. Not sure why they would want her off the force, but who knows? It was oh, she's a little girl. Nah, she's a Latina. She's short. She's a Latina. Hold on a sec. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So apparently, from what I'm reading here, says none of the officers like her. Plus, she gave a fallen hero award to an officer who was involved in a child kidnapping. Wow, I didn't know that. And geez, EPAR backwards with her cop boyfriend. Wow. And she was then killed by her boyfriend, who first shot his kids and then himself. That's the straw that broke the camel's back with them. Oh, okay. So is that what happened? Is that what happened? Wow. Okay. I honestly didn't know any of this, but I will say this much: that's bias right there, 100%. And then not to mention, there was a situation with I don't know if it was underneath her jurisdiction though, but there was the one police officer that was selling permits to people and stuff. We talked about that a few times. But I don't know. I didn't know that as much, but I do know however this police force is being run in the county pretty much. I have to say they've been pretty professional for the most part. So that's the only thing I can really say about it necessarily. But I never heard about this other stuff. That's crazy. All right, where we at here? Mark Poto says, bro, most of the schools down here have locked door policies. You have to get permission to enter schools. Well, at least the ones I've taken my stepson to. Right. Okay. So you saying it don't seem quite right that somebody just walked in that joint and got busy. That's what you saying. Makes sense. Legit. That's a legit concern. 100%. Dude had a Daniel defense with the EO Tech. He was 18. I call Treadstone. Possible. Very much a possibility. I was hearing to be careful with David Straight teaching. He is pushing people to become U.S. nationals. There's no such thing, just another U.S. corporation. That's 100% fact. That's 100% fact. Bill State National. I believe David Straight speaks on people become state nationals, aka Californians or Texans. I've never heard him say anything about U.S. nationals. All right. They always pull you out for doing your job and being intelligent. I don't trust most of what I hear anymore, though. Facts, Alex. No kid is throwing an EOTech on an AR with body armor. But Brandon had a whole lot to say. Brandon. You already know it, but let's be honest here, yo. Let's keep it 100% $150. All right. That speech was probably written weeks ago, and they probably got more speeches written for future situations. You know what I mean? So, yeah, presumption off cat must be but by fact. 100%. Yeah, I didn't know he had all that stuff on that arm though. They said he had an EOTech. EOTechs are expensive as hell, ain't they? They like $1,500, ain't they? That's an expensive ass sight. That's military shit right there. Like, they had the armor on. I mean, so was this a rich kid? Like, he just have, money to just throw into an EOTech on an AR and armor and stuff like that. Is this what the case was? Is that what it was? Because that's suspect as hell. But yeah, I would like to hear more information because I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that situation yet. I want to get more information first. The rifle is 2 bands. Okay. So yeah, if that's I saw the Latino joint. I saw that. So what y'all saying is that whole setup he had was probably 5 bands. And to that I say, where the hell does a kid who's 18 get 5 bands to pour into something like that? Huh? It's crazy to me. All right, let's go on to another piece of information I want to show you guys.
Predicts this technology will replace smartphones. Bill Gates has become a kind of guru of the new realities that humanity is living, and now the co-founder of Microsoft has predicted a new type of technology that, among other things, would replace smartphones. It is not the first time that Gates dares to make predictions, as he showed when he spoke about the new pandemic that will attack humanity. Now the author and lecturer has spoken of an electronic tattoo. The billionaire businessman refers to the electronic tattoos developed by the company Chaotic Moon, a biotechnology-based technique that aims to analyze and collect information about the human body through it. Among the data that this tattoo will store, there is initially talk of medical and sports information with which it will be possible to prevent and control diseases as well as improve physical and sports performance by means of vital signs. Although this electronic tattoo is still in the development phase, it is known that it will be applied temporarily on the skin with small sensors and trackers that send and receive information through a special ink that conducts electricity. So who is Chaotic Moon and what is this electronic tattoo?
Studios, we're exploring a new frontier of biowearables with a project we're calling Tech Tats. So this is really going beyond what the fitness tracker is. And we're right now looking into the medical field specifically because there's a lot of monitoring devices that take up a lot of room and space. So rather than going to the doctor once a year to get your physical, this Tech Tattoo could be something that you just put on your body once a year, and it monitors everything that they would do in a physical and sends that to your doctor. And if there's an issue, they could call you. So the Tech Tattoos can really tie in everything into one package. So it can look at early signs of fever, your vital signs, heart rate, everything that it needs to look at to notify you that you're getting sick or your child's getting sick. So another beautiful thing that Tech Tattoo kind of takes over and disrupts the market is in the banking industry. We carry wallets around and they're so vulnerable. With a Tech Tattoo, you can carry all your information on your skin. And when you want your credit card information or your ID, you can pull that up automatically through the system. So the great thing about this idea is that it not only serves a really awesome purpose, but it can also be really aesthetically fun. So
Bill Gates.
All right, so let's be honest, folks. We all knew this was coming. Ain't nobody in this chat right now that did not know that was coming. All right, we already knew the mark of the beast was coming. We already knew it. We already knew all that, yo. Whenever you deal with the fictitious public world, you gotta go along to get along with them. All right. This is why I tell you guys, get with the people in your area. All right, because it's gonna become a point where you're not gonna be able to do shit without that tattoo. Facts. You ain't gonna be able to do shit in the public without that tattoo. All right. Hey, you know, try going into like a bank or something like that and opening an account with one of those old forms you got to actually fill out physically and turn in. You can't do it anymore. That technology it wasn't even technology, but that shit is gone. Everything is through a computer now. You can't do it. It's going to become a point where you're not able to do that anymore at all. So you're not going to be able to do nothing without that information. So remember that. Remember that. All right. Start getting with your people and start discussing things you can do. All right. Because it's coming. They said Trump might have delayed the joint by a few years, but with Brandon in place, they full speed ahead right now. These boys is moving like a goddamn juggernaut. They doing all kind. They doing it. We back to the psyops shootings and stuff like that. We doing goddamn world meetings. We doing that. They doing tattoos. Oh man, they like, yo, we gotta move, yo. We were supposed to have all this done by now. We gotta go. That's what they on right now. All right, telling you. And then also man, a watch I had on too. Be careful with some of this electronics you wear, because that watch was sapping my energy. It was too much electromagnetic frequency, and I don't think this little bit of tourmaline was enough to absorb that. But I took that bad boy off, and I felt substantially better. So again, with those smartwatches and stuff like that, if you coupling them with your phone, that's double the radiation you put on your body. If you're using stuff like Dr. Dre headphones and stuff like that, wireless joints, I got the wire old school joints for mine. But yeah, all that stuff is electromagnetic frequencies. That's all disturbing your brain chemistry, you know? So ever since I took that thing off, I felt excellent though. A lot of energy, you know what I mean? So we back with it. We back with it. All right, let's move on, shall we? All right, so guys, do y'all remember in the 90s when they had that at McDonald's, they had everybody used to eat McDonald's back in the day. Let's be honest, before we really knew what was in that crap. We all used to eat, McDonald's double cheeseburger, the dollar menu on the dollar menu on McDonald's. That was clutch at the high school, bro. Let me tell you something. The double cheeseburgers for $1 was fire back then. The wraps was fire for $1 back then. One or two apple pies, I think, for $1. A soda for $1, man. That joke was fire. Especially if you just get out of high school or whatever, man. I head over to McDonald's. I bring my food onto the bus. But how many of you guys remember this joint right here, the Monopoly thing? Remember those Monopoly pieces that everybody was trying to struggle to get their hands on? Well, I literally just heard about this. I didn't even know this was a thing right here. So take a look at this crap.
Have you ever wished that you could be an instant winner of a $1 million McDonald's Monopoly prize? Do you remember the feeling of peeling the Monopoly game ticket off the box of medium fries, hoping that your ticket would change your life, only to have the feeling of dissatisfaction sweep over you as you realize that you are the winner of a McChicken sandwich? Yet again, this is the story of how ex-cop Jerome Uncle Jerry Jacobson rigged the McDonald's Monopoly game to steal $24 million in prizes over a 12-year period. In 1987, McDonald's introduced a new game that would sweep the nation. McDonald's partnered with the game board makers of Monopoly to create a game of chance where tickets were attached to the containers of fries, burgers, and drinks for an opportunity to win up to $1 million in cash prizes. The game was simple. Collect game tickets representing Monopoly properties and win cash prizes. With a little luck, anyone, including yourself, could win. Or so you thought. Enter Jerome Jerry Jacobson, the man behind the elaborate scheme and the target of an FBI sting operation. An anonymous tip to an FBI agent later implicate Jerry and expose how he was able to rig the system and distribute the winning game pieces to his friends and family. Jerry and his new choice friends, mob members, racketeers, and drug traffickers would go on to sweep up every large prize for the next 12 years. After losing his job as a police officer, Jerry started his new life in private security for Dittler Brothers in 1981 At Dittler Brothers, he would make a name for himself through his hard work and dedication to loss prevention. Jerry oversaw the production security detail for Dittler's client, Simon Marketing, the same Simon Marketing that was contracted with printing all of the Monopoly game pieces for McDonald's. Later being promoted to the head of security at Simon Marketing, Jerry would learn the inner workings of how the game came to life. He would observe the process of tickets being printed, the tamper-proof watermarks being affixed, and would even oversee the technicians creating the instant winner game pieces. Jerry had access to the vault and was tasked with distributing the tickets to the packaging factories across the country, where the game pieces would later be distributed to the McDonald's restaurants. During an intake interview, Jerry would later tell investigators that it was my responsibility to keep the integrity of the game and get those winners to the public. In 1989, Jerry was overcome with the temptation to steal as he plotted on ways to keep the big prize game pieces. While transporting tickets to factories across the country, Jerry would often take multiple flights under the careful watch of an independent auditor. Aware that all of his activities were monitored, Jerry devised a plan to swap out big prize pieces with less valuable pieces in airport bathroom stalls where the auditor had no visibility of his actions. Knowing that keeping the game pieces for himself would draw unwanted attention, he began giving away and selling game pieces for profit, thus sowing the seeds of his future demise. A ticket to his stepbrother, a ticket to his butcher. He could make easy money and change someone's life in an instant. Having all of the big ticket prizes and receiving an accidental shipment of tamper-proof seals, Jerry had all he needed to continue his scheme. As time went on, Jerry gained a God complex, a feeling that he could change someone's life instantly by making them an instant $1 million prize winner. It was on a flight to Atlanta in 1995 where Jerry met mob-affiliated Gennaro Colombo of the infamous Colombo family. Colombo was involved in operating adult nightclubs, underground casinos, and sports betting rings. It was Colombo who won the Dodge Viper, the beneficiary of a game piece from Jerry, who was featured in a McDonald's Monopoly commercial. The two became close, and through Jerry's connections, the scheme grew larger. Colombo introduced Jerry to his friends and family, giving him the moniker Uncle Jerry, the alias that would later be given to the FBI. The scheme continued to grow throughout the late 90s as Colombo introduced Jerry to many individuals who were eager to partake in the scam. In exchange for tickets, these individuals would pay Jerry cash kickbacks, with Colombo acting as the middleman. Although most of the buyers of the tickets lived in the southeastern part of the United States, they would travel to random parts of the country claiming to have found the winning ticket in various states. They knew that if too many winners lived in the same area or found tickets in the same area, people would start asking questions. 3 buyers in particular were the father, cousin, and best friend of Colombo's wife, Robin, all cashing in on $1 million prizes. One fateful day in 1998, Colombo and wife Robin were involved in a car wreck. Colombo was killed and survived by his wife. Robin speculated that the Colombo family believed that she intentionally caused the crash due to her deteriorating marriage to Colombo. The Colombo family initiated an investigation in an attempt to gain further information. As a result, Robin would never feel completely comfortable around her in-laws ever again and believed that the Colombo family would later